Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. How you doing there, Felix? And hello there, Voken. I'm liking the use of those emoticons, they're looking pretty damn fine there. So we'll get started here in a moment. Dadman's been quite nice and sent the turnover early again, which is excellent. Gives me a lot of time to really go over it if I so wish to. And we can get right into it then, can't we? Glad to see you all. Hope you're all doing well. Right. We'll get on it then. And we'll see what we have in store for us today. It was rather... Yeah, it was interesting the way things worked out regarding Port Blair. Can't quite fathom what happened there, per se. To Earth is something. To Earth is human, then. I wonder what happened then. I wonder if he might have actually had his invasion force on low threat threshold, and that might explain why they backed off, because there was a task force, and then obviously the task forces that arrived. I'm leaving one heavy cruiser task force at Port Blair. The reason being because there is a threat of British carriers. We can't really linger there with everything. Also going to have the heavy cruisers sent, the ones that are being pulled back from Port Blair, to go ahead and escort other assets in the area. There's a number of heavy cruisers and destroyers that could do with some time in Singapore to actually go ahead and have that damage repaired. So we'll have that done as soon as we get the opportunity to do so there, really. Beyond that, we do have our sub that's going to continue to patrol in the Coral Sea to the south. We did have a shot against some cruisers last turn, didn't meet with any success, but hey. Right, so Hitara here looks to be engaging a Dutch sub. How you doing there, Proto? Good to have you, my man. Good to see you. We haven't had sight of the American carrier forces since a couple days ago, but in fairness, just that alone did confirm a lot for us. It confirmed that there's at least one carrier in the Coral Sea, which is good. Hey, Dylan Infinite, good to have you, my man. I don't think he's left the Coral Sea as of yet, but we'll see. So we've gone through the night phase. We haven't seen any interceptions. Okay, so she's taken a shot. She misses, thankfully. That is actually quite fortunate for us. That doesn't often happen there. We do have the PB attacking the sub in turn. Now, I wonder if she's in shallow. She might be in deep waters here, but it's very hard to tell sometimes, this map. I've been talking about it for a while, but I need to go ahead and actually and take a look at changing map mods. So it looks like we're in deep waters there. How you doing there, Pamantia? Hello, Crispy. Hello, my child. And we do see another sub over here. Right, okay. That's quite a few submarines there. 1, 2, and 3. It's interesting to see they're still lingering around this area, actually. Right, we are... not much damage, a little bit of rattling there. But if she doesn't actually carry out her mission, that's still good. It's sunny and rain in here. That sounds pretty cool. So we're entering into the air phase AM here. So still seeing those forces around Semarang. Supposedly Allied forces near Ocean Islands, which can't... Ah, that's interesting then. So we see Allied AP there. I mean, we do have naval attacks set up now, and we will be running that. B-17s there. I am pulling those subs back anyhow. Okay. So, what was suspected to be 2 heavy cruisers there, and apparently seems to be an AP, possibly something else in there. He may be looking to bring more men in, or maybe to another base in the area. Possibly so. Right, I'll continue the bombing campaign against the Chinese forces here. I'm moving assets to be able to surround him. But either way, if he tries to head into Rangoon, we will put torpedoes into her from the G3s. Okay. So moving into the phase PM. Quiet turn so far. Yeah, we're aware of the Allied. Right, subs around there, okay. Few subs being spotted. It's interesting that he's keeping them predominantly around. Right, so we had an attack against us over there. I had done that, Mike. So B-18 Bolo. attacking Manila once again. Right, okay, so it looks like he has the PBYs back again, or we're actually hitting them this time. I don't think we saw them last turn. But it could, of course, be perhaps like a float plane from a ship in this area, but I wouldn't be too sure about that. I'm sure we'll find out what's going on sooner or later. We should probably be in a position to order the attack against Manila once again tomorrow, so we can take a look at that. Yeah, so no flights, and we do damage another Catalina over here. Yeah, I mean, that's quite fortunate to actually have that hit there, so good few more hits there. Of course, they don't need the airfield. Being float planes, by the nature of their design, they don't really particularly need airfields. But I'm glad that we are getting hits there. I can't really fathom as to why he has them here, because he knows that I'm attacking Manila every day with quite a large amount of bombers. Hard to say. I mean, this is it. You take a look at the amount that have come in so far. It does worry me that we don't always have them escorted. That's the only worry there. But we do have every bomber now actually stationed at Clark, which does make things quite good for us. Makes it quite easy for us. Tends to lend itself to good coordination. Okay, so I did set things up so we would have some key 43s actually on cap over here. They're running cap in an area around here, so only a couple are coming in. But that should see, yeah, sees a good number of them turn back, get to damage a couple more. So he's 1,000 feet there. I think we're running 3,000 or 4,000 feet here. So we shoot one down, damage another. We did have one drop out here. Critical hit then at 139. There should be some good damage there. Right. So, we managed to shoot one of them down. We managed to drive off the majority of them. So they don't really cause that much in the way of damage there, which is fine. Okay. So, a quiet air phase PM as well. He's been very quiet as of late, which is an interesting development. Got to hope that naval search will shed some light on what's going on. But in fairness, it's not as if we're sitting here idle. We are consistently, that's a shame. We are consistently, that is quite a shame actually. We are consistently moving to strengthen our possessions, to strengthen our hold on these areas that we have captured. Right, moving to the land attack. So, we do have the 3rd Division here attacking the 58th Chinese Corps. This is not too far off of Changsha. This is in an effort to try and expand our perimeter. Inconclusive, and it seems here. 1-to-1 odds. It looks like a pretty bad roll there. 441. Not the best roll, but one destroyed there. Yeah, not the best roll. I mean, I can't recall what terrain that is, but I don't think it's great terrain. Interesting result there. Okay. The 34th Division is attacking the 3rd Group, the 12th Chinese Corps, and the 85th Chinese Corps. 161 to 203, so they're going to hold on a little bit longer. Few disabled there. We are inflicting casualties. There are some cores that definitely do seem to be made of sterner stuff than other Chinese cores. I've started to notice that. Terrain does make it difficult here for the 40th Division, but we do have the time to be able to drive them out. And it will take some time here. Yeah, not great, but we can recover these losses. It's all about taking control of this area, really. Looks like he's actually trying to move out there, as far as I can see. So 32 to 1, come on, just, yeah, there we go. Finally, it surrenders. Thank God for that. Because, man, that was a pain in the arse. So we do finally destroy the Lusu war area. Thank God. Right, I do have a bombardment. I was going to deliberate attack here, and I'm glad that I changed that to a bombardment, because that does reveal some information. So we do have that information to work with there. We are deliberate attacking against the 11th Chinese Corps and the 17th Group Army, which are trying to move over here as well. 92 to 101. So we don't kick him out of the Hex, which is actually not a bad thing. He's probably going to be leaving shortly as well. He's in combat, so we probably will get another chance to hit him. But he's on, that might be Major Road, but he's in combat mode. So we'll see. We inflicted a few casualties there. We'll just keep on attacking when we get the chance. We are attacking over here at Kuching once again. I was considering waiting, but I thought, well, it's not too bad, actually. We'll see how a second attack goes. If it doesn't work, then also we'll rest. But we do have a decent amount of AP. We should be able to win this. It might take another attack after this one. I'm kind of hoping that we do take its second attack, but we'll see. So 50 to 27. To 0 fortifications then. Okay. So it doesn't fall this time, and imagine the fortifications had a role to play in there. So we'll give them some time to rest. Right, attacking over here again. Interesting to see that their AV is down to 0. It wasn't previously, so that's interesting. They don't surrender. And they're not complaining about supply, which is interesting. But we do inflict 111 casualties here. So, yeah, we don't take any casualties. We are winning there. 3-1 odds. I could potentially go for shock attacks as well, but I'm not too sure. Yeah, he's bombarding us as well. So, we'll give them some time to recover and attack again. Attacking over here to BLeAcHACiD. Take another island there. Take that island then as well. So we captured that. That's what I want to see there. Right, okay, so that will about do it for today then. So, a really quiet turn again. I'm not complaining, we do have Loveland. Spanter size 2. I'm not complaining about quiet turns, it's just strange. It's just, it feels wrong. Osaka, Kyoto spans there on her fortifications, which is good. Yeah, it just feels odd. Feels very odd. Yeah, indeed, may you live in interesting times. Yeah, that's the thing there, isn't it? I don't particularly mind it, it's just, it does feel quite odd. And we sadly didn't get another shot at the tanker near midway, so he got off quite lucky there. It would have been nice if I actually hit that tanker. Hitting every sort of tanker that the allies have is well worthwhile. And it remains so for the entirety of the war, really. Yamato, welcome there by the way, Pistol, has not yet finished construction. I think she will arrive to join the fleet in, is it May? Might be May. Let's take a look then, actually. Is it 8? Yeah, I can't remember which one it is, actually. Take a look. I'm going to make a quick save and then we'll take a look at that. We didn't really see any sort of... we do have random arrivals, so it might have potentially brought it forward or pushed it back, or it might just be the same. We'll have to take a look at that. I can't recall when her historical arrival date is, as you can see. Let's see. I know, Vulcan, but in fairness, I do have to keep, like, quite a close eye on what I'm doing here. I do have to have things laid down a certain way. So Yamato, we're looking at the 28th of May, 42. I don't know if that's historical or maybe a little bit delayed or a little bit earlier. I know she arrives in May, so it sounds about right. Maybe give or take a few days, perhaps. I'm very much looking forward to having the Yamato. She will be quite handy. She's not that slow. She's somewhere in the middle there, really. She's faster than the Nagato and Issei class, Fuso class. But she's not as fast as, like, Kongo class. So she's in an interesting position there. But in all honesty, she's well worth it for durability purposes. I mean, 233 is pretty damn durable. You can see there, 405, 212, 493 there in terms of armor. The AA is... Well, I mean, the... oh god, they're... oh, they're not dual purpose. Eesh. Yeah, Hotel Yamato. I don't know, actually. They're not shown as dual purpose, which is worrying. Oh, god. Okay. Yeah, she has a cruise speed, which is important. And what I'm talking about is, like, top speed. Top speed does matter to a degree at times. Are they dual purpose? Right, okay. I was going to say, like, how could they not be dual purpose? Is it just due to this view that it doesn't show that? That's good to know. I was a little bit worried there. I was a little bit worried. That's good to know. Right, let's see then. Aircraft losses. So today we see Tu-139, which is good. We do have a top speed loss. I did actually go ahead and start flying a JNAF Koi to Mulmian to actually go ahead and increase the amount of aviation support we have there. E that was lost. We have a B-17E that was lost to Ops, which is good. He doesn't get many B-17s. Not to start with anyway. He'll have a few, but he won't get that many. We do have a Winterway, and we have a Wildebeest there. I hate those Wildebeests. I'm quite glad to see that there. So, 5-2 there. Not bad. Not bad indeed. Ship losses, I don't think we have anything listed, no. An interesting turn once again, because we just... Yeah. Build-A-Beast, yes. Build-A-Beast warehouse. No, Build-A-Beast workshop, that's it. Build-A-Beast workshop. I like it. Now, it did list AEP, but now we're saying AK. Which is interesting. What if he's trying to bring something in, then... Okay. I'm not seeing anything moving over here to Bastion. Which is interesting again. Oh, so we do see a unit over here. That's actually quite wild. There's 111 AV on this hex here. Do the Japanese get to research atomic weapons? No. I mean, there was, as far as I'm aware, research being conducted by the Japanese into atomics. But the thing is, I don't think they had the capability to manufacture one. I could be wrong. And if there's somebody who is knowledgeable and said, thingamajiggy, then do let me know. Right, it's clear terrain there. I might be able to go ahead and actually order a deliberate attack. It'd be nice to try and drive him back out of the hex. Should be able to manage an item, I would wager. We do have forces nearby that can be moved in if needs be. The beauty is it's major road, it just makes things so much easier for us. I do have forces marching across here, so if I take a look then, we do have, yeah, so the second RTA has arrived here today, which is excellent news. Actually, what I'm going to do then is build it up, divide it so it will rest and recover. It'll help somewhat with the fatigue and disruption, obviously we're in a malarial zone. But what I'm trying to do here is actually recover their actual strength on paper. Try and recover those actual disabled squads and try and get their TOE to what it should be. Musashi was commissioned in August 42. What did ours look like? I didn't quite see what it was for Musashi. Right, but actually making really good progress there, 5649. By the way, if you hear the obnoxious kids outside, then yes, they never do shut the hell up. Yeah, they're actually making pretty good progress. Is it, That's surprising, actually. They're making pretty good progress on that. Okay, boomer. I like it. Now, they made 16 today, which is actually quite impressive. I'm quite happy with that. I thought that would take longer, but it looks like it's going to take less time than originally anticipated, which is actually really quite important. Yeah, the special effects are kids. What does the red line show? Right, okay. So, when I put the roads on here, these red lines, the dark red lines, represent major roads. These lighter red lines represent secondary roads. These sort of pink lines, almost like salmon, represent trails. So trail is kind of like where a rail line would be. So imagine if you were like marching alongside or on the actual rail line, which is why the actual armored units actually make slow progress on trails, because obviously it's kind of nasty. They can move, but it's not easy. But infantry don't find it too bad, because obviously they can walk the rail line. It's not very quick, it's obviously not as great, but they can do it. Give us some firefight sounds in the background. Yeah, I've got the firefight sounds, but they're probably a little bit quieter. I might turn them up a little bit sometime. I need to bloody figure out how to change that chat box settings. I don't know why it doesn't do it properly. I mean, like, the light blue on blue ain't good. The issue with the World Pacific is, well, the majority of things are ocean. So blue doesn't help. Okay. Right, so if I take a look over here then, we're not seeing any detection out here at Port Blair. Yeah, Haguro is going to remain here then with a number of DDs. I didn't want to commit too much, just in case. We've been flying fairly heavy cap, we're at 70-30 cap here. We do have naval attack set up. You can see that we do have a number of actual task forces moving here. They are pretty damn well protected. I mean, we have like a light cruiser DDs there, we have light cruiser DDs in that force, we have heavy cruiser, as well as DDs protecting this force. We have the amphibious task force over here as well, which is protected by heavy cruiser and DDs. Over this way, we have heavy cruiser DDs, and that's protected by torpedo boats. I probably will send another force out this way as well. So we've seen 6 out of 7 here, which is interesting. 10 out of 10 detection here, so he's also going to be aware of the fact that, well, I imagine he's aware that we are unloading assets here. And, yeah, as I anticipated, there's still elements of the 33rd here. Only 1,290 of their equipment. Supply still aboard, 954. That's why I wanted them to move in combat mode, so that they could ideally form up. So we'll have a march in combat mode once again. It is obviously delayed their arrival to Rangoon. But in fairness, I could actually... Oh, they're going to arrive there pretty damn quick anyway. Wow, they really... They move pretty bloody fast, don't they? Well, that's fine, but that works out really quite well then. As we do have the 18th Division, so we'll have the HQ support there, have the extra support from said HQs, which will help out. This is at 15 units here, so how far is that from Bangkok? That's 14 hexes from Bangkok, so another 2 hexes he'll be within strike range for the G3M2s. I would like to get a little bit more escort. I did decide to actually rest the Aces and 2-0 groups here today, which seems to have been worthwhile. I can see fatigue has dropped there quite nicely. We do have the Tainan KOS, which is looking good. Likely have... I mean, this is it. I'll probably have both Zeros groups go ahead and just sweep Rangoon. We see there 6 fighters, 21 bombers, 15 auxiliaries. I think the number of bombers has increased. We see the number of fighters over here has decreased, which is interesting. I don't particularly know where they have gone. Now, over here, just outside Yunnan, it was a tough decision. I decided it was actually worthwhile to have one unit continue to move, but I didn't want to leave one unit here because as far as I'm aware, there's a fair amount of AV that begins in Yunnan, and obviously with this being like a river hex there, it would be a shock attack. Now it's ×2 terrain, which is nice, so bear that in mind. I do have an armored car company that's going to move along that way, try and move up, try and pick up the pace. Right, so we'll attack that again. There we go. I'm moving a brigade out to this hex here, actually. Moving a brigade across here. So what I'll do then is probably get another brigade in there, then have the 26th Division begin marching down this way. Or they could potentially march down this way, either or, really. I'll decide on that. One division can hold troops at Yunnan. And this is the problem, I don't know what is actually at Yunnan in terms of AV. I did think it would probably be best to leave behind the division because obviously it does have that firepower. So I mean that's something to take into consideration, and I do appreciate that advice regarding Yunnan. I wasn't too sure because I didn't want to leave ourselves in leave us in a position where we could be kicked out or suffer quite badly and have our road cut. When you say AV, what does this value mean? AV is like assault value. Essentially like combat value. The way AV's worked out is it goes by actual units that actually fight. So you have 323 AV here from the infantry, another 48 from the from the engineers, I believe, and 56 from the HMGs. But AV is one of those things where it doesn't really give you like the true combat value. Like for example, you take a look at the 26th Division here. So you know that we have 37mm 18 guns, we have some 70mm T92 howitzers, some 75 infantry guns, some 75 T90 field guns. We have some tankettes in here. Cavalry as well, actually. So we have some guns in there. We have some guns in here. Whereas a brigade has a decent amount of infantry. Obviously, 2 brigades would make a division with the additional assets. But in terms of men, really, makes a division. As you can see that we do have a decent amount of men. We do have some howitzers and mounted guns, but we don't have as many. We don't have as much support. We don't have the engineers. We don't have the cavalry. They're good, but they're obviously not as strong as divisions because they don't have the backbone of divisions. Yunnan area has like 1200. The one we're in right now is only ×2, which makes things a little bit tougher there. Yeah, I could probably have the division. I don't know. I think I might give the division here because it has that firepower. And I think I might have maybe another 1 or 2 brigades continue to move on. But I'll see. It's one of those, really. I did contemplate potentially marching over here. We mauled a number of units, not the ones that begin here, which worries me. So we'll see. We'll see. It's good to know. It's good to take into consideration. I was going to march these troops, but I decided, you know what? We might as well take the advantage. Take advantage of the fact that we do have these forces moving here. I might as well have everybody moving at once, and then, well, that's it. We're moved in at once. That's a lot of firepower concentrated in one area, moved in at once. That'd be quite good. So I thought it was worthwhile to actually have them go ahead and rest. You can see that even with that rest, I mean, it's been worthwhile. They've shook off a good amount of that fatigue. So I do think it was worthwhile. But this is it. We'll have another day of rest. We'll have the forces arrive here tomorrow, and at which point I can have all the forces move into SunYan. I mean, that's it. We'll have them all moved in there. Artillery, everything, engineers, tanks, just you name it, we'll have it. And this is it. There's 14 units in here. He's moving another unit in here. But it's not going to matter, really. We just have too much firepower. Armored units. It's clear terrain. He can fortify SunYan, but it's not going to matter, because we are going to burn through his fortifications pretty quick. And there's going to be a lot of AV there. Find a little bit of difficulty here. Oh, it's wooded rough. Right, that explains a lot of things there. But that's a very important hex to actually take there. It's a very important hex to take. Let's give you a superior leader then to help out. Right, there we go. I want to secure these important hexes. Right, wooded rough. See a unit there. Right, still seeing these units over here. We're aware that there's about 200 or so AV there. It's in clear terrain, so at least we can actually go ahead and sally units out and manage it. I do have a number of units moving here to actually block him in, really. So they're moving to 80, 60, which is there. I mean, this is it. We're going to prevent him from getting to Hong Kong. It might be that I go ahead and, considering he's moving this way, I might go ahead and actually have them sent down here to south. Make sure we block his access to Hong Kong. I believe we have a unit moving into Hong Kong, or we should do. Yep, that should be moving into Hong Kong. So I'll have that in Hong Kong. I'm considering bringing in a naval guard unit here just to make sure we have a larger garrison there. Hey, didn't that bad and good to have you, my man. I'd like to say it was an exciting turn, but in fairness, nothing really happened, which I don't mind. I frankly don't mind. It gives us that time to build things up and prepare. So we didn't have the best attack over here at Bandawang, which kind of sucked. So I've had the armored units go south, and these men are going to remain here, and they're going to recover their strength over time. Their TOEs aren't too bad. 52 there for the 113th. What I'm contemplating doing here is, and this is actually kind of something of a luxury, I'm contemplating potentially bringing the 4th Division into Java to actually help defeat any concentrations like this. He's doing this to delay us, and even with these forces in time, we would also break him down, and, well, he wouldn't have the ability to do goddamn anything. Okay, have fun there, man. So that might be something we do consider. I might have that division potentially move to Burma instead. It's kind of one of those divisions where it's recovering now, so it'll be in full fighting condition soon enough, and we can have it sent out elsewhere then. These guys will recover here fairly quickly. Wow, pretty quick to be fair. They do have the 16th Army here, which is going to be good for them. They are going to build up their preparation there, which is good. It would be nice to have like a command HQ here to help out that. I don't think we have one. We do have 5th Air Division, which is a command... No, it's not. It's an Air HQ. It's not a command HQ. So it doesn't particularly matter. Okay. Yes, I'd love to take Cocos and Christmas Island. I need to go ahead and run some reconnaissance on them. The issue is they're surprisingly far out there. Christmas IO isn't too bad at 8. But Cocos is 17. So I'm going to go ahead and run some reconnaissance over Christmas Island IO, and then I can take a force out that way. Right, so we're looking over here then at Port Blair. We're at 78% now. Building up towards that times, so it's on our level 2 port. We do have these assets continue to move up the river here. Looks like Georgetown. Oh, so I've accidentally... Right, okay, so Garrison is something here. I had forgotten about that. I do have a shipping engineer regiment here, which definitely helps out as it gives us that, what would you call it? Naval support. So I could do a unit down there. Now, actually I should... Yes, soon enough I'll actually have... Yeah, they're lacking the AV there. Goddamn. So we'll have to find a unit to fill in that. Bit of a pain in the arse. We'll find something somewhere. I just find these little garrisons a pain in the arse. What I could do here is have one of these units march back then, perhaps. Just need enough AV. I could have that moved down by a ship, actually. That'd be easy. We'll find something. I should have some base forces on their way. Yep, okay. So we have these guys here. Now, ideally, they have some AV there to work with. Not complete units. So we'll have to work with what we've got there. And we'll get something in there. It's not too bad, really. Right then. Now, looking pretty good. I did move in 2 key 43s here last turn. I've also been flying in the 9th JAAF Koi, which is a company here. So yeah, there we go. We have about, well, technically 6 AV, but there's only 5 here. Does it actually show us 5? Shows us 4. Riddle me that one. Okay, as you do. As you do. Is that a requirement? No, it's just 4. Okay, fair enough. We do have more key 43s I'll be moving in there. And they're obviously going to act as the cap for the oil there. Do you have spare Naval Guard units in Sumatra or Borneo for Singapore? Well, we have these Naval Guard units being engaged over here to Kuching. I do have a Naval Guard unit. Ah, there we go. It's actually just arrived. Yes, it's arriving over here. Yep, unloading over here, I should say. So this is finally unloading over here to Zamboanga. The issue is it's been damaged because we haven't had a unit in there. But in, like, my defense, it's like, Jesus Christ, I didn't know I was going to gain that base. I didn't have anything prepared. But we'll have our outpost here at Zamboanga. I like saying the name, by the way. It's not too bad. I mean, we do have resources, we do have light industry, so at least it'll help to pay for itself. It's just a bloody pain in the arse. I have to garrison it. 40k AV is quite a lot of AV. I do have 2 Naval Guard units have been brought into Luzon to act as garrisons as well. We do have a couple spare units. It's just getting them there. I think there should be another... Yeah, I do have 91st Naval Guard and 81st Naval Guard over here. It would be nice to retain at least some AV here at BLeAcHACiD. So I can have 91st or 81st sent out there to fill in garrison. I prefer not to have, like, combat units just held down like that. Yeah. Yes. How dare you not garrison a base you didn't know you were going to get? I love that. It is quite amusing, actually. I need to have these AA units redeployed, actually. So it's got the PT boats over here. I'm not interested in moving into Batavia until we have those sorted. I could actually start loading... well, so I could go ahead and actually start with naval attacks against them. I'm not concerned really too much. It'll eventually run out of fuel and retire anyway, then I'll come in. It's definitely something of a backburner to clear the port of Batavia. I've kind of brought all the AV into Java that I'm immediately going to have available. Anything else would be kind of like a luxury. I still have the 1st Raiden Regiment, and I do have paratroopers over here at Palembang. What I'm trying to figure out really is where the enemy is. Now, I'm really quite eager to go ahead and get some detection over here at this mountain hex. I'd like to see this mountain hex as well. I think I ran detection here on this mountain hex to make sure it's clear. We do have our units over here. So they've arrived. They do have a fair bit of fatigue, so what I'm going to do is have them into... just keep them in combat mode for now. I do have the tank units moving down there. Yeah, they're moving in there. I did actually go ahead and have the 56 reconnaissance move to the north. I'm going to have them move down here and then move into the hex, so we can take that hex side there as well. I do have 124th Regiment moving south. I might go ahead... Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and actually have the 144th use as well. I might as well go ahead and have them use, I guess. I could have them picked up from another port like Semarang, perhaps. So we'll have them sent down that way. Now, it's jungle, so it's ×2, so it should be easy to handle. Should being the operative word. But it will be. ×2 can never be as tough as ×3, thankfully. Which is quite nice. It's going well enough, really. We got quite fortunate, yeah, we did look out over here, actually, to not be hit by any of these, like, nasty bloody subs, so I'm quite happy about that. Have you attack. You could do with being refueled, really. But the good news is we've captured a number of these bases in this area quite quickly. This sad unit over here actually ran out of... yeah, it looks like the actual SLF that were with the unit, just, yeah, they got lost, so they couldn't capture that base, which kind of sucks. Even though there's nobody there, you'd think, well, I guess it's to represent that. I don't know. I suppose this is it. You need to have something that can take it. If you haven't got really the arms or something of that nature, of the training, or maybe it's just not your job. Maybe you just get there and you're like, nah, it's not my job. Let some other poor fool do it. Okay. So I did have the ships that invaded Kuching. They should have arrived today. There we are. Have them go to shipyard. So 2 weeks on that one. A little bit longer than it's anticipated. But in fairness, they took the hits. They're not 5 days there. That's kind of what I was expecting more so. Yeah, they're not exactly required anywhere immediately. So this is it. It is worthwhile to get them in there. Yeah. Oh dear. You can see our AV is pretty good there. 28 and 26. I'm going to give that a turn to rest there. I don't know, then again, we did take them down to level 0 fortifications. Sorry, yeah, but yeah, we might, I guess I will attack again. It's getting up there, but it's not too bad. We brought the fortifications down, so it should be potentially a win next turn. I'm going to be mindful that obviously if I do not attack, he'll build fortifications back up. So we have to bear that in mind. So those units are going to be marching down here. Secondary row, so eventually they'll arrive, but it's still fairly good. Right, oh, thank God for that. Okay. So we do have 23rd Air Flotilla that is going to arrive in Palembang tomorrow. I'm actually really quite glad of that. That is an excellent result. That means that we will have torpedo capability available once again at Palembang. We did it for a short period of time, so that's it. At least we'll have that vulnerability filled in then. Yeah, that'll be quite good there. Whew. I mean, that was a bit of a worry there. So do have forces being unloaded over here. So I have the 143rd. There's the 55th Mountain Guns and the 55th Cavalry here. They do have a light cruiser escort. So I do have these forces here that have actually caught up with the enemy. So I'm going to go ahead and order a attack. And there we go. And then we'll begin marching to Sabang. I did run reconnaissance over Sabang because we did have some information regarding Sabang in terms of signal intelligence, which was odd. Alright, they don't appear to have begun to move out, which is good. So I do have 4th Infantry Regiment, sorry, 41st Infantry Regiment moving in there to engage and ideally kick that force the hell out of dodge. But in times reach range, which isn't exactly great, we'll manage it. I do need to secure Java. Sorry, I do need to secure Sumatra in its entirety. It's getting better. I mean, we've cleared these bases here, which is good. Sabang needs to be cleared. Then it's just this base over here. The only problem is their ×3, which kind of sucks. It kind of does suck there. It's like a fair amount of resistance that can be offered potentially, but they shouldn't have that much in way of defense. We do have a unit over here I could march into. Okay. So it's going well enough, really. I will have to try and find some garrison units. I probably might have to bring in another naval guard unit to, like, Malaya, just to make sure we have something there. But I would like to use, like, base forces and stuff like that to fill in garrisons, rather than having combat units just sit there, like, doing jack all. They're not good as garrisons because the thing is, it's like, sure they have the AV, but they don't offer me any support. They don't offer any aviation support, so it's not really worthwhile. So we do have our divisions here then. So 16, 10, 22, 16, 19, 6, 2, 6, 6, 8. That's looking pretty good. It's below the 25. It's below 10 disruption, which is normally the things I would look for. Up to 15, 44. So we're at 30 airfield damage. It was interesting that we did see an aircraft reported hit on the airfield, though we don't see an actual aircraft listed in the base itself, which is interesting. Very odd. I did decide to use the smaller unit over here, the Sasebo SLF company, to move north. I'm going to have them move to the north and then move into this base, just to try and take control of that hex side if necessary. But I don't know, for some unknown reason, it is like keeping supply here at Batangas. I can't work out why, but it does. So that's as it is, whatever. It is what it is. Do we order an attack? I mean, we could order an attack with that. I mean, most units are pretty good. I'm somewhat tempted to potentially give them another day because, well, we have that time to a degree. But I likely will order an attack. We'll find it hard to recover, but I likely will order an attack with that. Likely will. They're down to level 0 fortifications. Oh, so we had severe storms overhead. That's not good. Yeah, they're down to level 0 fortifications. It's ×2 terrain. It should be viable. Should be good. I'll decide on that one, but I will go ahead and actually... I will order an attack for now. And then I might change my mind. But we'll have an attack ordered for now. Okay. I mean, they do have headquarters support. They do have command headquarters support as well, which definitely helps them out. So, really, it's looking fairly good. Looking fairly good so far. I don't like the fact that I've lost track of the divisions around, well, the corps around here. Would be nice to try and find them again. That does not appear to be moving. We do have these divisions over here prepared to cross. So they're at 30 now. They're on secondary road. So they'll have 45 tomorrow. And then we'll go into combat mode. Yeah, how you doing there, Bennett? Well, I mean, that's it. It's to be expected. I mean, the wooded terrain over here sucks. I mean, that's wooded rough terrain, which sucks. That's to be expected. I mean, not every division is equal to the best. We do have some divisions that aren't as good as others. But it does actually help them to gain that experience. I mean, experience is gained... well, you gain the most experience in combat, so that's quite good. But it helps out. We've had a number of pretty good victories so far. We finally kicked the Lusu war area out of existence, which is quite good. I don't think I even need the armoured car company here, which is fairly good to know. I could potentially use that to take hex sides, which is not a bad thing there. And I might do that, potentially claim some hex sides on this road, make it a little bit difficult for him, but it's not easy because obviously he does have this spaced out here. In China we need to add assault value to the units in combat, but again 1 to 2 auto-4 nest tags. Well, that's it, but the thing is obviously again about AV there. No, it's not good. But perfect is the enemy of good. Right, do I have that move there? I mean, in fairness, I might as well go ahead and use this armoured car company elsewhere. We do have other forces here, it's just obviously it takes longer to get to this hex than it does the others. But we'll get it. I'll see what units I can actually get there. How you doing there, G-Killer? Good to have you, my man. How you feeling, dude? Bro. Oh, God. That's so cool. Oh, you missed out on 2 turns? In fairness, the going has been quick. Alright, we'll go ahead and we'll move that brigade in here. I do have a division that is moving here as well, so we can have that moved in. Yeah. Oh dear. Right, we're moving to Xinjiang. So, if necessary, I can go ahead and commit 2 divisions here extra as well as a brigade, just to give us that AV. That will need some extra, so I can go ahead and send some extra forces in there. That'll be fine. At least it's nearby, I can begin marching. Okay. Yep, so I'm going to give them another day's rest. We'll allow the rest of the forces over here to actually meet them here at this hex at 8442. And then 2 days will be on top of SunYan. And, ooh, let's say by the 9th of February, we may very well be in possession of SunYan. Now, we'll have to take things from there and decide where we go from that point. I do have detection here, which is only showing 1 unit, but it looks like a core. If we get the opportunity to move down here, then I will bloody well take it. Because if I could secure that 1 hex there, that would make an unbelievable amount of difference. I mean, this is it. It's a shitey, awful road, but if we could actually secure the hex sides here, then that works for us. I mean, taking control of that hex is really where it's at. If I can control this wooded roof tile, I don't even need to particularly move into here, but I could actually bottle him up in this area and make it so that essentially this is the Black Gates of Mordor, and we'd kind of have Rohan kept out and Gondor kept out. Those pesky good guys. No, nothing but a Zorokai here. Oh dear. I was going to let that one settle there and let the dust settle from that little comment. I think that would make me the White Wizard then. The White Wizard of Isengard. Infinite Monkey can be Gandalf the Grey. Oh dear. I like that I'm not even Sauron in my own story. That's nice. Okay. So let's see then. At Rabal, we have finally hit 50% there, which is nice. Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, this is it. We're looking pretty good. I don't have detection here. Maybe I'm calling. Oh, dear. I did have these zeros placed on 10% cap and 90% train. I mean, this is the thing we're trying to do here. He has given us the time that we needed, which is nice. Except not Polter and Hatefish. Oh dear. Yeah, he's given us that time that we needed down here in Coral in Solomon's Sea area. Whether he will come back is an interesting one. I do find it intriguing what he did at Talagi. It is interesting. It's like, I don't know what his gain was there. I mean, yes, he did cause some damage to the airfield, but you look at that, the airfield has been repaired almost. There's only 3 service damage yet to repair there. He did hit the supply, which sucks. But in fairness, he didn't destroy any aircraft, and he lost 4 F4 F3s, or potentially 3 to 4 F4 F3s for that attack. He didn't really gain anything there. We destroyed supply, but he lost 3 to 4 fighter aircraft that he doesn't exactly get many of, not at this moment in time. So he weakened his actual cap and his ability to strike out. A little, but a little makes a lot of difference. Right then. So I do have this fast transport here. I do need to decide as to how much supply we need moving into this area. We are probably getting to a good point now. You can see that we do have supply that's moved out here to WoW, as we have 2,600 there. We have 3,500 over here at Nadzab. There's 8,236 here. We do have another 600 supply yet to unload. I do have... Shit me, that's a lot of supply there. Wow. And a little bit of fuel's quite nice. Wow, okay, so that's just shy of 10,000 supply. Make that 10,000 supply. Yeah, wow. Oh. That's a lot. That's actually quite a lot. Okay, so I don't think we need to send any more fast transports to the Ley area, because they're going to gain about 20-odd K that we need, which is quite nice. Quite handedly. We have 27 over here at Rabal. I could do with more supply of these other bases. The issue is they are somewhat... Tulagi, as it's supposed, Boon of a Shortlands isn't too bad, actually, because it is covered by Rabal quite nicely. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. How are we actually going here on... Let's see. Yeah, you can see fatigue and disruptions going down, even for the second air division, because there's not a terrible amount of load over here. Not a terrible amount of overload. We are recovering, which is nice. You can see fatigue's gone down. we're looking pretty good. I think once we get to size 7, we might be possibly immune to the effects of malaria. I will likely build up that port to size 4 because we do have the ability to do so. It would be nice to have a larger port in this area. Rabal is one of those very, very specific situations, really. Very specific cases. There's not many places out there that we would actually think, right, okay, we're going to build the portal. I would build it up by 1, but that is because it is relatively easy to protect, and it actually does offer us a good outpost out here. It's almost like a more southern truck, but not as good. But actually better in some ways, because it does have the other islands in the area that can help protect it. And project power. It's an interesting one. Right, so we do have Loveland Banners at size 2 now. Build it up to the size... Well, we are going to build it up to size 4, which is going to take a little while. It can be built up to size 3 and then 1 extra, but that'll take a little while longer. But it's worthwhile doing. I may, in fact... how many engineers do we have here? We have 114 engineers and 12 vehicles. I might have a squad sent somewhere else so we can actually begin building them up. Maybe. He only gets like 4 F1, F3As a month till the F1, F4 arrives in March, and he gets 45 per turn. Yeah, it's a fair amount there. Thankfully, we do produce more than that. And we're doing it right now, which is nice. Right, okay. Yeah, they're moving there. So that's our base. Right, okay. I'll have them sent out to take... And they could head that way. I'll send them out here to take Beamer. So I do have a couple islands up in that way I need to take. Though arguably I might need... Yeah, I think I might go ahead that way. They do need to refuel, however. I do need to get some fuel moved down this way. I could be like a vampire and take from another ship, and I think I will take that approach, perhaps. Loading up there. Well, what we'll do then is we'll go ahead and take Beamer, and then I'll head back to BLeAcHACiD to have some refuel there. There's little bits of fuel here. Suck the fuel dried Kopang with the subs there, but I don't regret that. Right, we have another element of 64th Sentai there. Yeah, and what I need to do is I need to go ahead, and I think I might bring some zeros down here in the near future. But I don't even know. We could probably get away with by just using the key 4 to freeze, but I'm not entirely sure what I don't know if it's actually worthwhile. So we may be able to take these bases through the means of land power. It's an interesting one, really. I may go ahead and order a bombardment attack here, just to get an idea of how much we're going up against. I'm not doing it right here. I think I will order a bombardment attack here, then just to get an idea of what we're going up against. It does help out. I won't know what like qualifications he has, I don't believe, but it will give us an idea of what AV he might have, so we can work with that. We'll also get to see the units in there ideally. I may very well have the 4th Division move down that way. I mean, it's currently planned for Singapore, so I could re-target that. I'll have to make a decision. And we do have a good amount of force that's moving in here. I mean, we have 18th Division already on top of Rangoon. We have 33rd Division that will arrive in... I mean, they could have been there already. I'm just waiting for the rest of the unit to unload and move in there. So we'll have 2 headquarters in there. I do have here Imperial Guard Division detachment, but he's moving on to Pegu. You can imagine they'll be waving on their fellows who are having to march. But once they get to Mulmian, it does get easier. In fairness, it might be just easier to load them up on Mulmian and move them to Pegu. So it does actually save potentially on that time. I know the transit time's nothing, but once you get them loaded up, and it's like saving 2 days, 2 days, 2 days. Well, 2 days, 2 days. And then obviously we'd have to have it 2 days. It might take a day or 2 to load them up, and we might save potentially 2 days or so, something of that nature. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. I just thought time 7 is worthwhile, though. Right, I'm having these fellows move south because they do have those vehicles. I can't move vehicles via air transport. We do have another Koi in here now, so I have 12th RTA, sorry, 12th JAF Koi and 7th JAF Koi, and I have the 1st RTA. These guys should... Oh, they don't. It might not... No, it is a complete unit. Neither do they. Oh, okay, I was kind of hoping they might have had some actual AV there. Yeah, 45 a month and so about 1 to 2 a day. Yep, I do have my heavy cruisers over here. I brought them in to actually refuel at Tavoy. Okay, so I do have the first elements of the 5th Division that are arriving over there. They're a day behind the actual anticipated schedule, but it was fine to make sure they were safe. We do have a 6th Tank Regiment in here. We have a number of artillery regiments in there. Some actual RF guns as well, which is the anti-tank guns. Mortars too. And then we'll have over here... they're moving into Port Blair, so that's additional construction units that are going to head over there to Port Blair. And then I do have the rest of the 5th Division here. So that's another 100... so another 11,000 men. So we're going to have quite a lot of force. We'll have about 4 divisions then in all. I could potentially make it a 5th division with the... is it a 4th at Singapore if I so wish to do so? But it does actually somewhat tempt me to potentially have them pushed into Java. I think that could give us a... It would definitely help to swing the pendulum in our favour. What's this? I don't want to delay. I don't want to tarry in Java too long. I do need to bomb the actual base here to make sure it doesn't build up fortifications. So we'll have to do that. Should really get on that now. We'll have that organized then to actually go ahead. It's not too bad, really. I think we will attack Manila tomorrow. Ideally, we do win. The weather tomorrow is overcast, so should be okay. I mean, this is it. Again, another quiet turn. I don't particularly mind them. It just feels odd. It just feels odd. Okay. I do have a tank regiment there. I might go ahead and actually shift them to that hex there to actually aid them. It's ×3, so probably not worthwhile, actually. I think what I'm going to do then is actually have them move to join that division there. I might go ahead and advance on this hex here then. That's wooded terrain. It would be nice to see what there actually is in Changsha. So I don't know right now. Right, they're moving on there, so I can get them moved out. Wuxi, which is here. Alright, fair enough. Fair enough. No, we're looking fairly good. Yeah, sounds like an arms race there. Right, we're looking pretty good. So in fairness, there's not that much for me to do right now, which is an odd thing to say. I'm not used to saying that. I'm used to having to put out fires here and there. I will go ahead and order a sweep. We will order a bombing campaign against Pegu then. I don't particularly have to use both squadrons, but I think it's worthwhile when you are sweeping to try and use as much force as you can. His commitment of H-81s in the area has been diminished. I could go higher on the altitude. I could go to their max altitude. It does put their maneuverability down to 10. They can go to 3280, to 32-810. I don't know. I mean, it's losing a lot of maneuverability. I don't know if it's particularly worthwhile there. Right, so 14th then. So 14th will arrive in Pegu tomorrow, and then they will begin to move out here towards... sorry, no, they'll arrive in Murmian tomorrow, and they'll be able to make some pretty significant progress there. The good news is tanks will be really, really handy. Oops, that's the wrong one there. Tanks will be really, really handy in things like this. How you doing there? Just good to have you, my man. Not that much actually happened today, so don't worry about it. Quiet turn again, quiet turn. Interesting turn. I could potentially have them moved out here. Perhaps. But yeah, I'm looking forward to using the tanks in these areas here. So I've seen 5 units here. Okay. Only 10 fighters is interesting. Just the 1 unit. I mean, this is it. We could take that by our paratroopers, but we're not going to do that. Right, looks like I moved the entire Koi there, which is nice. It does reduce the amount of AV we have here, but not that much. Okay. What I'm going to do is take the first Sentai. I could probably get away with having a fairly small escort, to be honest, if we're going in there sweeping, but never say never. Yeah, they're escorting for Rangoon already. Not that much, really. We had some battles fought in China. We don't see anything particularly really of the USN or the RN. Not a huge deal. Yeah. Oh dear. Couple sub-attacks there. No, not that much really. Not that much. Not right now. If we're sweeping there, Gary, it's worthwhile having them. You wouldn't say better if we lose a bunch of Key 21s. We are sweeping with, like, 85 zeros. I think we can afford to use some Key 27s. Should be fine there. I just don't want to have them going with no escort. Okay, I mean, I'll take the Key 27s off, but it does lessen the amount of escort we have on our guys. So if the zeros don't go in first, then, well, this is it. Are we... What concerns you more, losing the fighters or losing the bombers? Would be tempted to somewhat move them. Yeah, we'll see. He said they had some sort of issue. I'm not too sure, actually, whether he's fixed it or not, so I really do not know. I don't have a turn yet from him. So I don't know. Oh no, Gary, I'm not going into that one. I have not got 2 hours for that one. I'm sorry, Gary. I'll take him off. I'm not spending 2-3 hours talking about that. I'm sorry, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. Oh dear. I get your fear of AVG. And I respect it. But sometimes I think it might border a bit too much. I've not got those hours. I'm just thinking of actual use of them. Well, what we can do then is we can have them set up to... Well, they're going to be in a difficult position here, aren't they? I'll have them run cap over the actual amphibious forces just in case then. Okay. Quite a few bombers here, that's sorry, quite a few fighters here. He might have buffaloes, but he does have, what were they called now? The demons. I don't know how many demons he'll have left. Warhawks, maybe. I don't know if it's worthwhile sending the key for freeze against that. I prefer to have some zeros in there. Now, Surabaya has a couple fighters. I don't know, we'll have to think about that one. Does he take the base to the west of Rangoon? No, not yet. It doesn't look as if he's actually moving anything in there at this moment in time, which is interesting. Of course, we might have lost track of it, but it's an interesting one nonetheless. Right, set these guys up here to try and get him. It looks like he's taking a coastal path here. He tends to come in along here as well, so I'm going to try and take that. He'd be really, really brave to try it. I don't know why he would try it. But I guess we'll see. I do have first RTA march into Rangoon. Shouldn't take them too long to arrive at Rangoon. But the thing is, it's like moving in a division is a lot harder than you'd imagine. I could move the troops, it would take a while though, that's the problem. But they wouldn't be able to move the equipment, so they're not really worthwhile doing. If he does retreat over here, then that's kind of fine. We're going to try and move the units over here to try and cut off that, yeah, it's a kind of pain because I was going to have those troops march there, but that's fine. I could always take some armored units and have them move that way. They'll at least move quite quickly. Or at least quicker than anything else. Though actually infantry probably would be more suitable there. That major road, it goes about halfway, then it goes into the jungle, so probably infantry would find that easier than armored units. That's not too bad. I do have these fellows actually planned for Rangoon. I don't think I particularly need it. But I don't think there's any bases here that are really worthwhile. You kind of want to prepare for like the big battle. But unit prep, even at 0, still makes a difference, I believe. Well, I mean, he might want to just retake it. It doesn't hurt him to retake it. It's just, it doesn't really matter. That's the thing. There's not much supply there, but he has supply in Rangoon. Taking that base doesn't really make a difference. I mean, it'd be a shock attack across the river, but it's clear terrain with no fortifications, so either or, really. Doesn't make that much of a difference. Paratroopers are resting for the time being. I don't really have a target in mind for them as of yet. Right, that base force is moving into Rabal. I am going to tell them to follow their actual escort there, and not the other way around. At least then they have a chance of making it in there. So I do have a couple of BBs set up now at Kavieng. We do have our tanker that will make it to track, which is nice. The thing is, in Australia, it's like... there are bases that can be taken, but the thing is, just because they can be taken doesn't mean that they should be taken. Darwin will probably be on the list in the future, but Darwin's really quite... it's one of those that would take to try and ruin it. More so to deny it to him, but it's not one that I really particularly want to hold on to. We might have had more plans for Australia had we still had the MKB, but frankly, the good news is, how are you doing there, Benjamin Magnus? No, we're not playing against DHG. This is the Admiral Dadman game. It's been an interesting game. No, I mean, the good news is, even with the loss of Mini Kitabatai, it would hamper plans for something like an Australian invasion. But the original intention that I had was more so the invasion of India, so it doesn't really hamper things too badly. By the way, if you guys are somehow not aware, do go ahead and check out Benjamin Magnus on YouTube and Twitch. Awesome channel. Lovely guy. He's got a nice cute dog. He's got the Aryan blonde hair too. That's the best kind of like compliment you can imagine there. Okay. I like the dog emoticons, those are cool. Right, so I do have 50, which is moving out to Wuchang as we wish. That's good news. So we're looking pretty good then. We're not bad. Java's fallen. I was hoping that Java would have collapsed more so than it did. The mountains and the Time Street fortifications did not help. Certainly did not help. And in fairness, I'm going to organize the campaign to bomb that. I do have the Key 21 2A sallies here. Actually, I did have them here and I've moved them out. Oops. What I'll do then is have the... We'll have the Key 48s. We do have a good number of them. And they do carry 4 of these 100kg bombs, which is nice. It doesn't particularly make a difference when you're bombing an airfield. So I'm going to have them move down to the space over here. And I will go ahead and begin the campaign against the airfield. Now, I'm not too sure what sort of AA he could actually have there, so it should be okay. But what I'm going to do then is, we'll have a little bit of cap, then I'll have the escort set there. That's a shame there, just. Infinite Monkey did reply to you. He put the Key 27 as a crappy fight, it's inferior to the HH1, and on top of that, Pirates and the Key 27 are weak. Send them to escort, just gives the cap kills, assuming there is a cap. That in turn increases air skill. So in late battles, he's a fight more experienced pilots. If the A6M2 goes in first, no biggie. If Strike goes in first, the Nates will likely get shot down. I prefer to send Oscars or Split Zero as an escort. I do have a decent amount of Oscars over here as the 54th Sentai. It is attachment A. Which is interesting because I can have that subdivided, which is quite useful there. Yes, we kill all the bad planes. Every goddamn one of them. Right, let's see. I may go ahead and actually order a naval attack over here to shoot some bombs against the PTs. It would be nice to get rid of them sooner rather than later. I can have the G4Ms remain in the naval search mode, really. And what I'll do even is actually have that changed out. So we'll go for 20% on search. We'll have 30% of them actually on attack. And I will have them attack using the bombs here. They should be okay. The PTs there, I don't think they'd have much in the way of armament. They're probably going to have like a machine gun. I don't think they'll have much worse than that, really. Of course, it does depend on which kind of PT boat it is. I don't know what PT boat he will have here. Yeah, we've got the Brownings there. And that can cause damage, really. But if I take a look, what's their altitude? Their range is 4,000 now. We'll take a look at the different PTs and make sure we have something worked out. So I could go about 4,000 and probably outrange them. Obviously, you do know how to get down there with that 20 mil. Let's see. $4,000, $5,000 would be fine. I don't know what you mean by Unity. Scenario 1 is as roundabout historical as you can get with the base game. Scenario 2 is kind of like crazy mode. Oh, that's a really cool name. Galactic Empire of Gaming. That's really cool. I haven't been following either you or THG lately. Well, this is a different game to the THG game. This is one that we're playing against a moderator on the Warner Pacific Admirals Edition forum. So, it's looking pretty good, actually. It's looking pretty good. It's been quite trying on us. We have had quite some interesting setbacks. We are aware of at least 3 to 4 American carriers in the Coral Sea. We've had some defeats handed to us by them, but we are actually... Well, we're building up to be in a position to actually deal with them. we're aiming to be able to do that by using Rabal and the actual aircraft that are stationed in this area. We will be stationing more here in the near future, but not quite yet. But we have been building up this area. So, for example, having Rabal built up to size 7 airfield here. This area will be built up. I'm quite fortunate as I do have some aviation units that have just arrived, which is really quite nice. There's still some troops over here. Won't take too long before they're ready. We do have our mines over here at Ley. We do have an ACM. It is interesting because I do wonder about Moresby. We did have these bases taken here. And bases here. That's fine. That's fine. We're playing against Admiral Dadman. That's slight for summary there. He's a good player. Significantly better than I am. And he's been giving us a tough time with things, really. I mean, do a Japanese infantry... is a 1945 Japanese infantry squad stronger in Scenario 2 than Scenario 1? Go fish on that one, I guess. I mean, the question's interesting. Is even a 1945 squad stronger? I'd say a 1945 division is weaker than a 1941 division. Mostly. No, we still have our own campaign going on. This is a separate campaign that I'm doing. We're about 62 turns into this one, which is quite good. So, I mean, there you go. You got another series you could watch. I mean, the good news about this series is I got to play all the experience gained, which has been quite good. We have had some nasty setbacks. We have learned some interesting lessons. But it works out. Yeah, it's a different game. Different game. Okay. So at that point now when I'm just talking, we have gone over the actual aspects of the turn. There's not that much for us to do here. So, should be looking good. We've organised naval attack here. We've organised bombing of the actual base here. We do have that escort set up. I could potentially move more escorts in there if needs be. Yes, Congo is alive. Ah, that's a cool name. By the way, they're Chaplain War. I like that name. Congo actually arrived over here. She actually arrived over here at truck. I think last turn or potentially the turn before, but she has arrived. Haruna, ironically, was the one who took a torpedo afterwards. So she's under repair over here at Hiroshima Kare. So it's going to be about 35 days, which in all honesty is not too bad, really. Should be ready soon enough. These battleships, when they do take a hit, they generally are out of the action for about a month or so. Issei, which hit a mine, is going to be out for longer. She's out for 79 days. My darlings. I like that. So yeah, 79 days. She hit a mine. She hit it hard. The issue is most of that is major damage, and that's the problem there. Now we're looking good then. So, awaiting the division to arrive at Rangoon tomorrow to join the 18th. We will have additional divisions move up. We do have additional equipment moving up over here as well. So we're going to soon have that artillery and armoured units in Burma, which should be very nice. I'd imagine we have more assault value in Burma than he does already. I'd like to build it up to make sure we have some pretty strong victories and pretty decisive victories. Okay. So I have 4th RTA here. That's pretty cool. I like that. What I'm going to do here then is I'm going to divide that unit. I do need to make sure we have that. I think I might go ahead and have a unit move this way. I could potentially have a unit march this way, but it'd take a while. It might be worthwhile doing. I'm not too convinced of that. But I think I will have a unit march this way. Maybe more. More might be worthwhile. I could have a unit move there to act as a garrison for Tungo. But I don't really need a garrison to Tungo. It would be useful to have one. But I mean, we do have a major road here. In fairness, do I just send the division down that way? Maybe I do. That's 129 AV. It might be worthwhile having it sent down that way. This road is really quite important because that's all jungle rough, which is nasty as hell. He knows that we have units here. We might go ahead and try and check him by moving that way. I could have armored units move this way, so we'll go ahead and we'll try. We'll try. I think the Burma Road is... I think it's technically still active. Yes, it's still active because he has this road over here that goes this way and would connect on. But we are going about pretty strongly in breaking it. We are just gearing up now just to take Rangoon. I'm moving units to go ahead and take that hex there. I'm moving units over. I was moving units to move over here, but we're having to engage the enemy here. So we'll have units moved over here, then moved into Rangoon. What we're trying to do is isolate Rangoon, but the Burma Road will be cut shortly, which is quite good. We're pushing quite hard in northern China, which is nice. I'm just resting these forces over here, and then we're going to be crossing to Xi'an in the next... about tomorrow we'll begin marching tomorrow. I do have these divisions and etc. over here as well. So they're going to arrive tomorrow. So that's 2,214 AV. That is another 1,652 here. So we're going to be hitting Xi'an with a good number of AV there. Prom would be worthwhile, perhaps. I might consider it. The issue is there's 3 units over here, and I don't know how strong they are. I don't imagine they're terribly strong, but it's one of those if I don't want to have the paratroopers put into a situation where they might be defeated. We'll take a look. I just need to run some reconnaissance on that. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I'd like to get some transports moved over here to Chiang Mai, actually. Move out more of these actual construction units. Currently, they're just busying themselves on the actual fortifications here. That could be built to a very bloody big base. So can that. Rangoon's going to be an interesting one. I don't know how I'll go about that. I mean, each of these bases will be taken. But I think we'll go ahead and we'll save it about here then. And I don't know how much work it'll take to do this. It depends, really. Maybe we might be able to send it off to 9. Who knows? We'll see. And we'll go with that then. So thank you very much there for watching, ladies and gentlemen. It's nice to have all 30 of you in here. I've seen the numbers are steadily increasing, which is very good. I was very worried when I did begin the series because it's one of those of where not many people had any vested interest in the series. They just didn't have any clue about it. And it's one of these things of it's like watching a well, I don't know. It's like starting a new book, isn't it? You're like, well, I've got this book and I haven't finished it yet. I'm not going to start a new book. But it's good to see that people are opening up the page and they are starting a new chapter in their lives. Ah, that's where I was leading. I feel quite... I'm doing the little finger thing. You can't see it, but I'm shaking my fingers. Like little guns. Like, you can't see it, but I'm doing it. Well, I should shut the hell up. Thank you very much for being here, ladies and gentlemen. If you are enjoying the series, please do go ahead and follow me here on Twitch and on YouTube. A Twitch subscription would be fantastic, as it would actually help me out a considerable way in supporting myself when I do start university next month. But until next time, thank you for watching. Iceycrome, sayonara, sayonara, jane, and goodbye. See you next time.